You now tuned in to the Gumptown Podcast. I'm your boy Doug B. We ain't got nothing to talk about, but we got something to talk about. Let's go. Good people. Welcome back to the Gumptown Podcast, episode 75. I'm your boy Doug B. If you tuned in to this podcast, thank you for your time and your attention. I really appreciate you giving this podcast a shot. Today's guest, she is the founder and owner of Whiff of Essence. I'm looking forward to this conversation, and I'm sure you all will be inspired by her story. Let's chop it up with Inicia Perryman. Inicia, how's it going?
It's going great.
Glad to hear that. First things first, thank you for taking time out of your schedule to chop it up with me a few minutes. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, ma'am. Of course, we're here to talk about Whiff of Essence. But before we go there, let's get to know the woman behind the brand. What's your story?
My name is Inicia Perryman. I'm a criminal justice major at Alabama State University. I'm in my fourth year. And I'm an aspiring attorney and judge. So I've interned under a judge here, a district court judge here. I've also interned under a couple of female attorneys as well. So yeah, I'm just striving here to network and here to be a great businesswoman.
Wow. That's a great story. Hey, short and sweet, right to the point. So I know you say right now you're attending the Alabama State University. So let's back up before we talk about that. Where are you originally from?
I'm originally from Detroit, Michigan.
Okay.
Northwest side of Detroit.
Okay, dope. Shout out to the 313. So let me ask you this. So what were some cultural differences you noticed when you came down from Detroit to Montgomery?
My first cultural difference mainly was I actually attended high school in Greenville, South Carolina. So once I got to Alabama State, the difference that I saw between that and Michigan mainly is, well, with the college life, I'm more surrounded with a lot of my peers. So I definitely enjoy it better because being around striving young adults such as myself and my friends, it just makes my dynamic and my growth period in this time in my early 20s way more funner and interesting.
Wow, sounds good. So it sounds like while you did love home, you needed to get away from Detroit.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like I will almost cry if I had to go
back. Wow, no doubt. Hey, I know you definitely gonna put on for the city, and when you go back, they're gonna give you a key to the city.
Oh yeah, for sure. As long as I could probably halfway by the city is gonna be the one I want to go back.
No doubt. So let's talk about your time at the Alabama State University. I know you about to be done here in the next year or so. What has the HBCU experience been like for you?
Oh wow, the HBCU experience has been amazing, so amazing. I got to Alabama State fall 2018. And it's been great. The friends that I've gained is like family. Like it's just like such a family environment. The teachers is like family. They're easy to get in contact with. They're easy to build personal relationships with. Everything has just been very personable since I've been at Alabama State. And I literally, like, I'm an Alabama citizen now. That's what I call myself, an Alabama citizen. So this was a great stepping stone for me. And I'm very grateful that I attend, 1867, the Alabama State University. Definitely paved the way for me.
Yes, ma'am, that's dope. And that's exactly how it is, the HBCU experience, at family aspect. You hit the nail on the head, just being able to just connect with your professors and your peers. And like, I'm glad you've come down to Alabama and found a home, a second home, and it's been a great experience for you.
Yes, I'm grateful for it as well.
Yes, ma'am. Let's talk about Whiff of Essence. What inspired that name? Very intriguing.
What inspired Whiff of Essence was actually my cousin. She graduated from the Alabama State fall 2021. So I came down here and she's 2 years older than me. So we were actually, she did hair and she was doing my hair. And I was telling her like, okay, now I done mastered the candles. I got everything together, my formula. I said, now I got to come up with a name. So we just sat there as she did my hair and we like, okay, what do we thinking about candles. Like, okay, what do you think we think candles? It said smell. So we looked up the synonyms to smell. We came up with whiff.
Wow.
And that's how we got the whiff. And then we was like, whiff of And then I'm big on greatness. So we were just looking up synonyms for like greatness and essential and stuff like that. And then we came across essence as a synonym. So we like, whiff of essence. We was like, okay, we gonna go with that. We gonna go with whiff of essence.
Wow, that's a dope story. I mean, y'all did y'all Googles. Like, ain't nothing like it. Might as well use the internet to its best of its ability. Like, I love that story. Like, it's real raw and uncut. Like that's how most ideas come about. We just do our Googles.
Yep, exactly. So we was just
Uh,
looking up the synonyms.
yes, ma'am. So, what got you into the candle making space exactly? What was that inspiration?
So I'm very much so on the holistic side. I like plants, I like healthy stuff, and I like candles, So during COVID is actually when I started literally, and I found myself continuously buying candles. So I remember one night vividly, I was in Ollie's and I picked up a candle and I just looked at it and I was like, this can't be that hard to make. So I left Ollie's. I looked on Google, left Ollie's and found me a candle making kit. So I'll end up at Michael's. And then I started making candles. I actually started making them in a microwave. I actually started with melting my wax in the microwave. I had just bought like a jar from Dollar Tree and was just doing anything, honestly. I was on YouTube. It was everything I was doing probably was very unsafe, honestly, because of YouTube.
Mhm.
So
Wow, that's
yeah, that's how I started.
Wow, that's amazing. I mean, so that actually transitions right into the next portion of the interview. Like whenever I have entrepreneurs on the platform like yourself, like to talk about three things: the aha moment, action, and audacity. So it sounds like that night in Ollie's was your aha moment that sparked the idea to start this business.
Yeah, that
Wow,
was that night.
wow. So from the time you had that aha moment, how long did it take you to come up with a name and actually start operating in business?
Okay, so from the time I had that aha moment to the time I started actually operating in business. So I was just telling my sister about it. I was telling my sister about it, and she was really excited. And she actually had a friend who started making candles and who didn't want to make them anymore. So her friend literally sent me like a bag of 10-pound wax and some of her candle making supplies that she had. So they sent it down here to me from Detroit. And then that's when I started. I got the idea from another one of my friends to look on Facebook for candle making pages and things in that nature to learn. So it's for a candle community basically. So I joined the candle making page on Facebook, and like any question that I had or questions that I needed answered, it was all in that page. So I literally studied the entire page just about, and it's probably been up for a couple years. So it's a lot of content, and it's a lot of candle creators and just regular people that's making candles in their kitchen as well. So I looked, I studied it, jotted down all the ideas, actually found real candle vendors because I told you from the start, I never even had a clue about like candle vendors and stuff like that. And actually the candle making process is like it's like a scientific project. So that's how I ended up getting like information and stuff on candle making. And then my best friend, she makes body butter. So my thing then became getting my formula together because I couldn't seem to get my candles to get a scent. And that's the main thing, of course. So my best friend had helped me out with my formula. She gave me this formula and I used the formula and then I lit my candle and I left the house for about 30 minutes, came back, smelled the candle, and I was like, oh, we rich.
Wow. Wow, that's amazing. So you didn't spend a whole bunch of time actually overthinking, overanalyzing. Once you had the idea, you got right in and start studying and doing your homework.
Yeah, for sure. But it took me a while before I even mentioned it to her because it was like when I had mentioned, okay, so she was helping me along the way, but I was like, I just can't figure out the formula.
Mhm.
Like the formula is the only thing that's getting me right now. And she just said it so casually, oh, blase, 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 XYZ, do this. And I was like, okay. And I did it. And I was like, oh wow. Like where you been at this whole time during this whole process?
Wow, that's amazing. Like that's good. Like that's what it takes to have good friends in your corner that can give you that them tidbits of information, just that game to help you along the way.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. In that last portion, audacity, not only did you have an idea, you actually took action on the idea, but I believe the bridge that connects the two things is audacity. It takes audacity to step out there and get started and actually put your product out to the world to be judged and or critiqued. Who what gave you that audacity to get started with the Essence?
LOL, the audacity is so funny how we got to that part. So after I mastered it, in college we work all these little 9 to 5s. So at the time I was working at Smoothie King, and the the owner, which was also my manager at Smoothie King, she had made me mad one day, and I decided to part ways from Smoothie King. And I was like, I really don't have to do this because like I know people about my candles and stuff. Because I had started promoting them on Facebook originally. And then a couple people was so excited, family members and stuff, family friends, and I had shipped out a couple prior to me quitting my job. So once it got to that day, I literally left and I went downtown. I got my LLC and signed up for my LLC, put it all in my name, because that was another thing I was waiting on before I really started promoting, because I didn't want anybody to steal my name. And my cousin was telling me that, like, you put it out there, somebody possibly could steal your name. I was like, no. So that's why I hadn't really started promoting until I got my LLC. Then I got my LLC. I came home, set up my tripod, started recording a video of me and my candles, putting it out there. I got a few sales, and then that's when I had ended up, after I got a few sales and kept making sales of just promoting on my page. That's when I had hit up one of my friends, being at a HBCU. It's a whole bunch of smart individuals. So, well, she's not my soror, and she actually makes websites. So I had her do my website. She did my website and stuff for me. And then once she did my website, got some of my pictures taken, and then from there I just took off.
Wow, that's so dope. And I'm gonna tell you something. I really commend your generation. Like I finished up Alabama State in 2010, so I'm a few years older than you. Like I really commend your generation. Y'all are entrepreneurial and y'all really go get it, man. Like I love that. That's so dope. Like they were like they made you mad at Smooth the King, so you told them to kick rocks and you got started. That's dope.
I started elsewhere. I was like, I could go to my kitchen and make what I'm making here 10 minutes. I go in my kitchen, whip up a good 8 candles, 8 hours for $10, $80 plus tax being taken out. That's like 60 is what I'm going home with. I can go sell 4 candles and make $80.
Right. Nah, that's dope. Like I trust me. I mean,
Two
just
for
know
20,
like,
2 for 20.
oh yeah, no doubt. Like just to have that audacity, that ambition, like that's dope. So take me through that first sale you made online, like your first official sale. Like what was that feeling like?
When I first got the notification of my first official sale, it was like a moment of greatness. It was like, we made it. We made it. It was like, okay, you got to keep pushing through. And of course, being in college, I have my down periods and stuff, but I actually recently just quit another job at the Pilates gym. So anytime I quit a job, I get more and more motivated in my own business and more invested in myself. So actually my top customers, because I have a work study job at school on campus in the football complex. So my top customers, the coaches at Alabama State, football coaches at Alabama State, I go up there and make a great amount. It be said. And they actually push me and drive me and motivate me. Every time they see me, it's like they will always want some candles. So they put that pressure on me to even keep a box in my back seat. So now that I've crossed this stuff and I go to a lot of kickbacks and hang out a lot, I take candles. Like I sell candles at kickbacks.
Hey, that's dope.
I
Hey,
sell
guess
candles while we out.
hey, that's dope. Like your office is always open. I love it.
Always.
So has anybody from back home, Detroit, shop with you yet?
Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. Anytime I post on Facebook, I get at least 2 or 3 shoppers. There's 2 or 3 customers and stuff. I might send them a free wick trimmer or something, give out promotions and stuff. So yeah, I definitely get hometown sales for sure.
Hmm. That's dope. Good stuff. So Whiff of Essence has done great things, and I know great things are coming down the pipeline, which leads to my next portion, vision. What are your short-term and long-term goals for the business?
My short-term goals for the business is just to keep the business going. Don't get lazy on it right now. Cause like right now it's kind of challenging to focus on my craft, focus on school, being an independent student and female, just focusing on life in general. It can definitely, I don't want to lose sight. That's so my short term goal is not to lose sight and at least continue to make uh 6 to 8 sales, weekly or bi-weekly, just to keeping me motivated and keep me driven to keep going. And my long term goals is to take off completely, have get to the point where I'm gonna need a team because right now it's just me in the kitchen. I don't share my formula or none of that. So my long term goal is to be able to get me a team and get to the point where I will need a team and where my marketing explode and everything just I become one of the top black female candle dealers out here. So that's my long-term goal, to be able to have that as a real life. I'm not even gonna call it a side hustle, a real life business, because right now it's a side hustle. But as I grow into the prosperous young woman that I'm aiming to be, and when I'm in law school, that's really my long term. When I'm in law school, that I'll be able to live off candle money,
Hey,
have my
those are
own work for my own 9 to 5.
yes, ma'am. Those are some great short term and long term goals, and I have no doubt you'll make them come to fruition.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. So as we wrap up the podcast, I want to ask $1 million question. I started this podcast because I wanted to highlight the greatness of Montgomery. Whether you were born here or lived here for a significant period of your life, be it college or military, you being here for college from Detroit, I want to ask you, what do you appreciate the most about the Gump?
What I appreciate most about the Gump that I realized one day when I went downtown, me and a friend, we went downtown and we went to a museum. And then I realized, I was like, wow, wait, like I used to read about Montgomery all the time, growing up. For me, we learned a lot about the Montgomery bus boycott, all the civil rights and stuff. And I was like, I'm literally walking down the roads that Martin Luther King, Rosa Parks, and just all these famous influencers for the Black community have paved the way for us. Like, if it wasn't for them doing what they did, I wouldn't even be able to go to school down here. Like, it'd probably still be segregated and stuff. And of course, times have changed, but I'm just more so great for this rich history and to also be a part of making history here in Montgomery. Like, going to school here, graduating here, building relationships here is part of my history as well, and it's part of Montgomery's history. So I do want to eventually be a positive, one of the most positive influencers to come out of Montgomery as well, because that's super motivating to know that that they did what they did in the time period that they did and made it to where I could come down here and live comfortably. Like I'm down here living very comfortably. And I couldn't more so thank just my just thank everybody, all the beautiful historians that came up out of here, like, because I knew it had to be a lot, especially being in the South. So yeah, that's what I love the most about it. And like I said, Montgomery paved the way for me. um, I didn't start living on my own till I was 20, but to be able to comfortably live on my own, I'm now 22. So, and I've been comfortably living on my own here in Montgomery for 2 years. So it's like, I did my first year on campus. So that's still a part of it because that definitely helped mold me as well. So yeah, Montgomery has done a lot of molding for me over the past 4 years, and I can never be more grateful for it.
That is dope, and nothing else needs to be added to that. So, Eunice, how can the people connect with you? What are your social media handles and website?
Okay, so my social media handles, my Instagram page for my candle business is Whiff of Essence. My personal Instagram is _. Again, _. And then my website again is Whiff of Essence, www.whiffofessence.com. And you can contact me through all three of those platforms.
Yes, ma'am. And of course, I'll put all of the information in the description of the episode. Hey, Eunice, thanks again for the conversation. I really appreciate you.
I appreciate you even more, though.
Yes, ma'am. Good people, that concludes another dope episode of the Gumptown Podcast. In the meantime, in between time, y'all know what to do. Be blessed, be safe, but most importantly, Have the audacity to be you. Go on. Thanks again for tuning in. I appreciate your time and your attention. Until next time.